Dogs are often seen as the ultimate symbols of loyalty, love, and forgiveness. No matter how many times you come home late, forget to fill their water bowl, or accidentally step on their tail, they still greet you with wagging tails and bright eyes. But what if I told you that there are some things even the most forgiving dog will never forget? Some mistakes don't just fade away, they leave scars, not just physically, but emotionally, forever changing the way your dog sees you. And the worst part? You might not even realize you're doing them. If you're guilty of any of these, you could be unknowingly damaging the bond you thought was unbreakable. Keep watching, because what you're about to learn could be the difference between a dog who trusts you completely, and one who silently holds a grudge forever. Most people assume that dogs live in the moment, that they don't hold grudges. But science tells us otherwise. Studies show that dogs have an incredible memory, especially when it comes to emotional experiences. They don't just remember what happened, they remember how it made them feel. If you betray their trust in certain ways, they won't simply move on. They may not lash out, they may not seek revenge, but they will remember. And over time, those little breaks in trust can turn into an unfixable fracture. Today, we're revealing the 10 things a dog will never forgive, mistakes that could ruin your relationship without you even realizing it. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to avoid to ensure your dog stays by your side, heart and soul. 1. Breaking a promise to your dog. You might not think that dogs understand promises, but they do, just not in the way humans do. When you tell your dog it's time for a walk, they don't just hear words. They recognize the pattern, the excitement in your voice, the routine they expect. And when you don't follow through, it doesn't just confuse them, it disappoints them. Imagine someone you love constantly promising you something exciting, only to let you down every single time. Wouldn't that start to make you trust them less? It's the same when you call your dog over in an affectionate voice, only to trick them into a bath, a nail trim, or something they hate. Do it enough times, and they'll start hesitating when you call their name. They won't forget the times you used their trust against them. This is one of the most common, yet least recognized, ways people damage their relationship with their dogs. 2. Yelling at them for something they don't understand. Dogs don't process guilt the way humans do. That guilty face? That's not remorse, it's fear. They don't actually connect your yelling to the thing they did wrong hours ago. Instead, they just associate your anger with your presence. If you constantly scream at your dog for accidents in the house, chewed up shoes, or barking, they won't think, "I should behave better." Instead, they'll think, "I should be afraid of my human." This is why so many dogs develop anxiety, why some flinch when their owners raise their voice or even move too fast. Their memory ties your voice to fear, and once that bond is damaged, it's nearly impossible to undo. Dogs thrive on patience and guidance, not punishment. And when you make them afraid of you, they never truly forgive it. 3. Ignoring them when they're in pain. Dogs are experts at hiding pain. It's a survival instinct, they don't want to show weakness. So when they finally do show signs of discomfort, limping, whining, refusing food, it means the pain is serious. If you overlook these signs, if you brush off their suffering as just a phase, your dog will feel abandoned. They won't understand why you, the person they trust the most, aren't helping them when they need you the most. This is why neglect, even unintentional, is one of the most unforgivable things you can do to a dog. They don't forget the times they suffered in silence, waiting for you to notice. 4. Using punishment instead of training. Imagine you live with someone who constantly punishes you for mistakes but never actually teaches you how to avoid them. That's what punishment-based training feels like to a dog. When a dog doesn't understand why they're being hit, locked away, or screamed at, they don't learn discipline, they learn fear. Dogs thrive on structure, on positive reinforcement, on clear and consistent communication. A dog that's trained with kindness and patience will move mountains for their owner. But a dog that's been punished into obedience? They won't trust easily, and that fear stays with them forever. 5. Leaving them alone for too long. Dogs are pack animals. In the wild, they are never alone, ever. Being separated from their family, even for a few hours, can be distressing. When a dog is constantly left alone, isolated with no stimulation, it isn't just boredom they feel, it's loneliness. The more this happens, the more they stop trusting you to be there for them. Some dogs become destructive, acting out in frustration. Others shut down, becoming withdrawn and depressed. Either way, the message is clear. When you leave them alone for too long, too often, they feel abandoned. And they don't forgive abandonment easily. 6. Teasing them too much, pretending to throw a ball, pulling food away at the last second, scaring them for fun. It might seem harmless, even playful. But to a dog, this is betrayal. They trust you to be kind, to be fair. When you repeatedly trick or frustrate them, that trust erodes. They start to see you as unpredictable, someone who plays with their emotions instead of protecting them. 7. Forcing them into scary situations, whether it's dragging them toward an aggressive dog, shoving them into a bath, or making them face their fears. By forcing them into overwhelming situations, this is one of the biggest ways to break a dog's trust. A dog that feels unsafe will remember the person who put them in that position. They won't understand that you were trying to help, they'll only remember the fear. 8. Neglecting their basic needs. It's easy to assume that as long as a dog is fed and has shelter, they're fine. But neglect goes beyond food and water. A dog needs mental stimulation, exercise, affection. They need to feel like they are part of the family. If they're constantly left out, ignored, or treated as an afterthought, they will feel that neglect deeply. 9. Abandoning them. This is the ultimate betrayal, the one wound that never truly heals. Dogs don't see the world the way we do. They don't understand circumstances or life changes. All they know is that one moment, they had a home, a family, a place where they felt safe, and the next, they were alone. Whether it's rehoming them, surrendering them to a shelter, or simply shutting them out emotionally, abandonment cuts deeper than any other pain. Imagine the confusion of a dog that has spent its life devoted to you, only to wake up one day and find itself in an unfamiliar place, surrounded by strangers, with no sign of the person it trusted most. They wait. They search. They stare at every passing face, hoping for a miracle. But that miracle never comes. Some dogs stop eating. Some become withdrawn, refusing to interact with the world around them. Others develop severe anxiety, pacing endlessly, barking, crying, desperate for the home they once knew. And even if they do find another home, the scars remain. A dog that has been abandoned will often struggle to trust again. They may flinch at sudden movements, become clingy and fearful of being left alone, or shut down emotionally, afraid to open their heart only to have it broken again. They don't forget. They don't move on the way humans do. They carry that wound forever, silently wondering what they did wrong to deserve it. Dogs love with everything they have. When you abandon them, you don't just take away their home, you take away their world. And that is something they will never, ever forgive. 10. Loving them, then taking that love away. Dogs thrive on consistency. They don't just crave love, they depend on it. When you shower them with affection one day and ignore them the next, they don't understand. They don't rationalize mood swings or life stressors the way we do. All they know is that one moment, they were the center of your world, and the next, they were invisible. Imagine if your best friend, the person you trusted most, suddenly stopped talking to you, stopped acknowledging you, without explanation. One day, they cuddle you, play with you, take you on adventures. The next, they push you away, barely looking at you. Wouldn't that hurt? Wouldn't that leave you wondering what you did wrong? This kind of emotional whiplash is devastating for a dog. They are creatures of routine, and when love becomes unpredictable, it creates deep anxiety. Some dogs act out, barking, chewing, desperately seeking attention. Others shut down, withdrawing into themselves, losing that spark that once made them so full of life. And the worst part? They won't understand why it's happening. They won't know that you're just having a bad day, that work is stressful, or that life has become overwhelming. They'll only feel the absence of your love. And that absence leaves a wound just as deep as abandonment itself. A dog's heart is pure. They don't ask for much, just love, consistency, and a place to belong. If you take that love away, even for a short time, it teaches them something painful, that even the most devoted heart can be broken. And once it's broken, it may never be the same again. But here's the good news. Dogs also have an incredible ability to heal and forgive if given the right care. If you've made some of these mistakes, don't panic. There's still time to rebuild trust, to show them love in a way they understand. Want to learn how to fix these mistakes and build an unbreakable bond with your dog? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more eye-opening insights into the world of dogs.